Hi everyone, you have found what to play next. We're bringing everything that is awesome in gaming. Like this, beyond booleans. That's where we are. We are beyond boolean logic. If you're not familiar with it, they use and, or, the, some, quotations, essentially, and then plus or minus in order to help you navigate the nested stacks that are the cloud or the internet, etc. Abscission. What abscission means? We will find out. It just occurred to me I might have wanted to look that up prior to this. Why do that, though, when you can do this? Alright, let's start. Why load when you can start? So this looked so cool. It did the comic book thing. Ashfield, Massachusetts, a place like any other. We were just enchanted by the way that this did that. I had lived there my whole life, in that town crouched by the river. Is a direct reflection of the humanity that clustered within it, its flaws and its virtues, whilst also presenting as a macrocosm of the human body. I would tweak that a little bit. From my understanding, this is in development. It's a macrocosm of human life. It had the capacity for... Oh shoot, I missed a line. But when it was infected, it could burst. When using a metaphor, you take the you object and make it absent, as opposed to a simile where you stay more on point. So it is like something. While they use the word like or as, removing the actual subject and replacing it with predicate would make a more immersive and less moving metaphor. Ashfield, Thursday, August 1st, 1991. Cool, so we're doing it the feels too. 10:07 p.m. Drop us right into a crime scene. No one is using this elevator tonight. We'll have to take the stairs. So we got the cool old school watch and stuff. Sorry, ma'am. As I said before. But it's our building. That's the way it is. Can we go? Do you want to take the stairs? Hell no. This cop says we can't use the elevator. That's BS. What about Mrs. Takahara? You want her to walk up 3 flights on that hip? Sorry, but the elevator can't be used. I don't know how many other ways I can say it. We'll go to a bar instead. I'm sorry, ma'am. You need to stay for the moment. We may need to ask you some more questions. It's like the greatest job. I don't believe this. I'm kind of a rebel without a cause, but I definitely recognize a crap job when I see one. Would you look at that? Will Stanhope. What are you doing here? This ain't a vice case. Hey, Hogan. Is this a vice case? Busy, Bruce. Well, it ain't. Stanhope can sometimes be presented with different ways of navigating a conversation based on 4 temperaments. Temperament 1. Melancholic, organized, detailed, and thoughtful. This approach focuses on the details focuses has a typo, allowing Stanhope to get to the heart of the matter. Phlegmatic, calm, diplomatic, and rational. Sometimes a level of sympathy is needed to build trust before the facts can be discovered. We've shifted southeast of Slavic mythology. This is a definite shift in gaming. So it goes towards Greco-Romantic. Choleric, efficient, confident, demanding. It's human truth that people lie, and sometimes these lies can only be overturned with a strong will. So you would be speaking to the 4 different bile, blood, black bile, yellow bile, and phlegm. Sanguine, sociable, optimistic, humorous, fear can stall a witness. A little human connection goes a long way. That's actually blood in the Greco way of measuring the humors. They say that you can have too much of something, so high blood pressure would be too much of that. There's no single approach that works best for all conversations, and Stanhope will need to use all of them in order to succeed. This gameplay adapts to your choices. You will remember how Stanhope spoke to them, may respond differently in the future, so consider each response carefully. So rather than using a nested Will Stanhope's destiny is in your hands. Choose wisely. Nice drop onto the emotions. Rather than using the nested choice based, what they did is make something that's more like an involved chance system. So as you build, it's going to create drop downs that different characters have, and those will change instead. So you don't modify where you go necessarily, you modify where someone will lead you. Alright, so let's see. We'll be sanguine. I know as much as you, Luna called me in. Really? Yeah, 10 minutes ago. Where's her partner? Interesting. Lewis is out of town. You letting me past? Top floor. Only way up is the elevator unless you fancy the fire escape. I thought there were stairs. Oh, so he can take the elevator. We're in with these guys. Lady, I swear to God. Alright, so we got hungry looking man. Can I question him? Man was in his mid-20s. His eyes were concentrated on the ice cream in his hand as he tried to finish it before it melted. Now let me talk to him. I see something on the ground. I always want to play with everything. It's what makes me a good play tester / beta tester. The moth was batting itself against the light. Footprints nobody cares about. Known Officer Lewis Hogan for around 8 years. He always seemed generally efficient, a little too reactive in his approach to make detective. Perhaps he was happy with his role and didn't wish to progress any further. Blonde woman. Woman was giving Officer Bruce a piece of her mind. I had no wish to stop her. Elderly woman leaning against the wall for support. Gives me a fleeting smile. Man's eyes were darting around the lobby. He's clearly distressed. So we're mostly interested in people, it looks like. Officer Hogan, good to see you, Stanhope. Taking some details from the landlord. Be done soon. I think Luna's waiting for you upstairs. Check in with her first. Will you still be here? We won't be done here for a long time yet. You'll understand it when you see it. Keep in conversation. Better speak with him later with less people around. Don't want to talk to her. Can't talk to her. Can't talk to him. Can talk to him. Stanhope, got time for a word? Not really. Neither do you. Let's get this wrapped up so we can get home. Let's use the elevator. Oh, I just will bang on the door. Maybe they have one of those cool bellhops. Okay. I'm not easily startled. This is... I swear this is the main draw of the channel, is how many times you can freak me out. The trollman I hadn't met before was standing nearby. I noticed he kept glancing up the stairs. His badge read Braintree. He looked like he needed a cup of coffee. What's up? Down for some tree panning lately? There was a leather jacket lying on the couch. I assumed it was fashionable. Really had no idea. It appeared to be something in one of the pockets. It has it in its pockets. I found a small black book filled with addresses and phone numbers. I said it could be useful. We love little black books. Obviously we're doing this. Pots of paints, brushes, and a palette on the table. Green paint spilled and dripped onto the floor, staining the planks. An easel, okay. Where did, oh, that's an easel. I don't know why I thought the fun thing, and I actually do paint. There's an artist's easel fallen on the floor with scattered brushes and a half-completed canvas surrounding it. Fortunately, when I am also speaking with people, I don't always. Half-completed canvas had fallen on the floor. Image seemed to be a forest. Though underwater, a curious image. That is interesting. I wonder how you would do that. Kind of wander in and out between my dialogue with y'all and what's going on in the game. It happens when you speak to somebody in a foreign language and it's hilarious. So I know vaguely like what's going on there. I don't really worry about it per se. If you've ever dated or been friends with someone from another country and they'll start speaking to somebody, for instance, from their family, they'll just wander in and out of English, or excuse me, American, you know, just seamlessly. Like they'll just be speaking, you know, whatever language is their home language and just slide into American. The bookcase held an interesting collection, although not in any kind of order by genre or author. Most of the books were the works of artists using very different techniques. Warhol sat next to Leo. Interesting. They might have compilations. I didn't think they released books, though. Some classics mixed in. Works of artists using... Okay, it doesn't say they wrote them. Such as The Rights of Man by Thomas Paine. Interesting. The philosophical works from Wolff and Craven. It's most likely a lifetime's accumulation rather than a chosen selection from a larger collection. Not for entertainment. Large collection of painted canvases. Don't think that's spelled. There's something in their spell checker that's ignoring to us together. Many of them framed, filled with shelving that ran across the back wall of the apartment. More than simply a hobby, this was a vocation. I should ask the landlord about this in order to flesh out the victim's background. Victim is an artist. Got it. Leather jacket. What's this? Hold on. Broken glass. There we go. Rather than grabbing the broken glass off the drop, let's look. Probably from a vase, judging from the nearby flowers. Might be it. Spam clicking being out. Spam scrolling is much more interesting. Broken vent. Blood dripped from the broken vent. The metal was buckled and torn. What could have done this? It makes me feel a lot, since you, in order to work, you have to acknowledge the fact that you can't, for instance, touch an icon. Being able to move your cursor and use your mouth and... I can't speak. Being able to move your cursor and use your mouse in tandem at all and get a reaction from the screen is incredibly satisfying to anyone who has to deal with any sort of office interaction. I mean, a lot of us work from home now in some capacity, whether it's a hobby or... It won't let me go up the stairs. Interesting. Oh, it does. Okay. I just have to want it. I just start at the start and then continue on through the finish. Good lord. Her name was Serena Challoner. I've never seen anything like it. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, no, I haven't. What do you mean, Luna? What is this? Look at her, Stanhope. Look at her. Window. I will apparently look at her corpse. Woman, or what was left of her, was tied to the wall. Her jaw was distended, was probably broken. Her skin was a patchwork of blood bruises. Ribs pushed through ragged flesh. I object to the blood bruises, unless you want that, the Vic to have been there for 12 plus hours, which seems unlikely. The blood that would have been, blood vessels that would have burst when the Vic was beaten, it wouldn't have had a chance to rise to the surface of the skin and cause a blood bruise. She appeared to have been hollowed out with very little besides bone and gristle left inside the sagging remains of her torso, the loss of blood also countering the effects of, for instance, a punch. Curious parched landscape. The earth had an odd texture, remarkably opalescent. Brushwork was almost photorealistic. I personally preferred my art a little more abstract, but could see the appeal. Window. The window to the floor. What is? More antique vase. Rather plain, but imposing nonetheless. Maybe it was a family heirloom. I'm certainly not using it for flowers. Don't let me do anything there. Probably not. Alright, Detective Luna, there's forensic worker. Let's see if I can talk to them. Forensic team was busy. I can see that. This is definitely something that is forensics. Have you been here for long? About 20 minutes. I was surprised you called me. Honestly, so was I, but I hope you can see why. Just look at the poor woman. Your other detectives. Isn't Jim Lewis your partner? He's on leave. But even if he wasn't, I think you're a better fit. I don't understand. Do you need my expertise with evidence gathering? Just look at her, Will. Doesn't this remind you of anything? Lascato Prosthetics. The disappearance of Cassandra Burgess. There was a twitch in her eye beneath the lid, the orbital floor. It was a tiny window to the nerves beneath. I see. I need to get my head around this scene. I understand. Can you look for some leads while I'm up here? Anything to get us started. Will do. About this case. So what do you know so far? Vic's name is Serena Challoner. Hogan's is getting some more details from the landlord. He was babbling when I got here. Let's see why. Do you have any suspects? Not really. Hopefully we can find something around here that gives us a lead. Do you think it's linked to the Lascato case? Can you really tell me this isn't the same way the others died? can certainly see the similarities, but that means nothing without a proper investigation. Similarities? Her body has been emptied. You can't tell me that's a typical modus operandi. Of course not. But look at these ropes. We don't even know what they're made of. There were fibers found in the Lascato too, but burned up in the fire. Could have been there. Interesting. So the other Vic was not necessarily tied up, but could have been. It's a stretch. Look, I'm not saying that I'm taking Lascato off the table. It's a possibility. What are you saying, Will? Lascato case was horrific, and I don't blame you for responding to emotionally charged media if you're without name. There was a momentary flare of anger in her eyes, for she sighed and took another drag of the cigarette. Will, you're a good man, but you need to learn more about people. Thanks, dude. What do we know so far? Vic's name is Serena Challenor. We're getting more details. Let's discuss something else. Okay. Amelia? Yes, Will? It's been a long time. 2 years, give or take. Not the way I would hope to meet again. Can't pick the hand you dealt, I guess. You're looking after yourself, of course. What have you found? Not much. Still taking it in. Okay, so just as a side note, that is the third look at her. So there has to be something attached to that in order to use the phrase that many times. She would have had to have followed that statement with a leading phrase that she's bringing the MC back around to. So she could say, I've said originally, look at her, I can't believe this is happening again, for instance, which would constantly reinforce her argument for case, which is a career-building move, but something has to come after it the first time it's said to repeat a phrase like that. Otherwise, an editor will tell you to cut that. We should catch up. I can't think about that now. There's too much here. I need to think, of course. I don't mean that I don't want to talk. I understand, Luna. Probably more than most. I know you do. I'll have a look around. Thanks, Will. Link in the description below if you love this sort of, where it goes from an overarching, very urban sort of, comic books are urban if you didn't know. If you didn't already get that off of them. They're really specific sort of art that's not accepted as art reflecting life. As much in the suburbs and country as there in the city. It's pretty much a given there. So it's a great urban way of moving from storytelling to interaction. So really cool. 2 thumbs up. Like I said, link in the description below. Also down there's Gamer Grind, Gamer Coffee shipped to your door. They'll put your logo on merch for $1 so you can pick up the Pirate Queen logo. Some awesome gamer coffee. Go to KOFI, buy this cheaper coffee, $1 make me smile, or support me on Patreon. So we do have, we have ways of promoting people, going through really just a riveting game so far. Not finding a lot. I feel like I have to move stuff around more. Maybe I have to examine the corpse more. That's kind of horrifying. Not really letting me do it. Let me try and look out the window. A hint system would be interesting. You can definitely look through my journal, see anything, that I can see there. Apartment block was in Riverside. It was an old factory, red brick and steel. It smelled the tang of blood as I entered the lobby. Red brick doesn't generally pair with steel. It might be incorrect, depending on if it was, for instance, a pottery. Hadn't worked in them for years, etc. Just as a heads up. Anything in my inventory that I can use. Slim pocketbook containing names and phone numbers. Why don't you look up a contact to Serena's? This is the best way. I just needed her first name. Trusty Colt. My wallet had been heavier, but I was able to get by. Interesting. It looks like it's going to go heavily occult. Maybe I can use this on the detective. I can't. Forensic worker. Painting. Don't know what goes together just yet. Need a definitive clue, something evocative in this room. Kind of what I'm looking for. Definitely hit subscribe. If you hit subscribe and you hit the bell, it'll pop you up a little thumbnail. So if you're into this sort of, like you don't want the gore, but you like a mystery, a homicide, the pixel, the pixel adventure, or any sort of, exploration into different interactions in gamer interface or narrative interfaces, this is 2 thumbs up all the way. This would be your jam. So it'll pop you up a little thumbnail. You would have smashed right onto this and hit something amazing. So hit subscribe, hit the bell, hit like. We love you guys. We love that you're always along for the ride. We'll see you in the next video. I'm going to have to kind of spam around here a little bit. I don't like it when narrative adventures give things away per se. Like, I really just feel like I should be able to use things on things already at the same time. I would want to turn that in, so now that's gonna bother me. Maybe I can go back downstairs and miss something. The leather jacket. I might be able to speak with Officer Braintree. Here we go. It must be Detective Stanhope. The fact that his name tag is on the coat and the fact they let you in there. I haven't seen him in a crime scene like this. I've never seen anything. Wait until you stay upstairs. Prepare myself for you. It's not pretty. You look tired. Been up since 5. I couldn't sleep. Maybe I should get a coffee. Well, but not from this kitchen. Luna's in the bedroom. I don't know what she's doing. Wouldn't want to stay looking at that. You know about the crime scene. First responder in the scene, according to the landlord, Vic's name is Serena Chalmers. She's upstairs. I thought it was a domestic. Interesting. What time was it? 9? See anyone? A couple of residents, no neighbors. They rented the top floor. I think this place used to be a factory. Nothing confined to their apartments. Seem to be buzzing around the lobby. Talked about Bruce about that. Spoken to the neighbors. Anything else? Prepare yourself. It's unbelievable. I'll do my best. Interesting. Goodbye, Bridge.